Mayor can add another amendment.
Okay. Yeah.
Just the application. Coded in. Just an application. That's what it says.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll make that,
They are hanging.
they
Before.
okay.
Because of the death of all.
They already got one.
And Charlotte.
Okay, so we'll make
Got behind him later. To pay because it's true thing. Because they got a house.
application.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But he keeps saying it's impossible. I tried to explain to him that
We'll make
he
that.
said, no, it's me.
Okay, so that's 7A.
All the cousins.
So I won't have to jump up here.
Everybody's
Okay, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
to have kids.
Okay.
Thank you.
Like,
Citizens of Louisburg Town Council, and welcome to our January 2026 Town Hall meeting. We'll begin by having the roll call by Sean
Mayor Neal,
here.
Councilman Stover. Here. Councilwoman Woods. Here. Councilman Kingsley, sorry. Here. Councilwoman Wright. Here. Councilwoman Baker. Here. Councilman Roseby.
Okay. All right. The next will be have our invocation. And before we have our invocation, please, I'd like to just have a moment of silence in remembrance of Miss Renee Good in St. Paul, Minnesota, please. Just one moment.
First of all, we thank you for this day, this first meeting of the year. We ask your blessings upon this council. We ask your blessings upon this town, this city. We ask your blessings, Lord, that you watch over us and keep us in your care. We thank you for what you've done, for allowing us to see another day. It's in your name we do pray and we give thanks for all that you've done. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. For the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. The next is item number 4 is adoption of the agenda for tonight.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda for tonight, to add the voting documents that we received.
Okay. Okay. We have a motion to amend the agenda, and I would put that at item number 10. And that amendment is for we received an invoice from the Board of Elections of the cost that was referenced to for the November election. Can I get a second? It's been moved and properly seconded that we amend the agenda for discussion of the invoice received from the Franklin County Board of Election. Okay, all in favor? All opposed? I also like to add another amendment, which would be item 7A, briefly for an application that was submitted to us for an amusement application. And Terry Satterwhite would just give us some information on that. I'd like to make that amended for item 7A. That's after that. Okay. Let's see where we can put that at. Either way, we can make that, okay. We can make that item number 8. Item number 8 after the fire apparatus vehicle. Okay. And that's for the discussion of a amusement app via Terry Satterwhite. Did I get a second? It's been moved and properly second that we amend the application again for for item number 8, discussion of an amusement app. All in favor application. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Now, could I get a motion to adopt the agenda with the included amendments for tonight? It's been moved and properly second that we adopt tonight's amended agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item number 5, approval for the minutes from our last meeting, which is our December 15th, 2025 regular meeting. If no corrections or additions to that minutes, could I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Only correction, I saw the, Rose's name.
Okay. Okay, was that a misspell? Was that a misspell?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, already is.
Okay. All right. Is that a motion you made? You made the motion. Okay, get a second. It's been moved and properly second that we adopt the the minutes from the last meeting with the correction of a minor error, a typo in the spelling of one of the members' name, Mr. Roseby. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. All right. Now, the next item on the agenda is for public comments. Usually during this time, we afford the citizens of Louisburg to come forward and anything that you would like to share with the council. You have the time to do that now, and we usually allow 3 minutes. Do we have it? Excuse me. Small spot. We only have one name on here at the moment. Perhaps there are some of you that came in late. I'll give you an opportunity if you like to make a public comment. Right now, we only have one name. But those of you who arrived late, if there's something that you want to say, I'll give you the opportunity to put your name on the public comments. Okay. If not, we'll be, I have a Miss Zelma Williams. Miss Williams, if you. Oh, okay. All right.
Mayor Neal, I'd like to say something.
Okay, you like to say something? Okay, you can come forward, please.
This is very fast. Good evening.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that if you could see what's being
Just,
printed.
let me ask you to give your
Oh,
name.
Joyce Neff, 203 John Street.
Okay.
If you could see the words printed behind you, you could just turn that off. It's really not accurate. It's not very useful. Or we could fix it.
Okay.
That's all. Thanks.
Okay. All right. All right. Moving on. Item number 7 on the agenda tonight is fire apparatus vehicle. Chief Fuller, okay. Being that we have are you able to come, Chief? Okay. Yeah.
I come to you tonight to consider, if you would consider initiating a purchase order for a new fire apparatus. The purchase of a new fire apparatus vehicle was discussed in the 25-26 budget planning process. Included in your packet is a quote I provided for a new 2029 Pierce Enforcer custom bumper. As noted in the quote, the delivery time for this apparatus is estimated at 1,500 to 1,560 days, so roughly 4.25 to 4.5 years before it would be delivered. The estimated cost for this apparatus is estimated about 1.45 million. And I would like for you to move forward with the purchase order for the above mentioned apparatus to the town. And we would need to issue a PO to Atlantic Emergency Solutions for an estimated 1.2 by the end of January.
Any questions for Chief Fuller?
Is this going to be an engine?
Yes, sir.
Chief, would you say this is in line with common towns around our area for cost that we'd have to face? Are we looking at growth as well for that opportunity?
Yes, sir. So we spent the last 9-10 months as a department going around to other stations. We visited multiple departments in Wake County, multiple departments in Johnston County, and some in the Henderson Fire Department. And we also went to the Atlantic Coast Fire Apparatus Show that was in Raleigh, and they have trucks from all over. And we got a group together, and we sat down and figured out what would best suit Louisburg, our district as a whole, not just the town, but the outlying district as well, and come up with this.
What challenges would you say we have going forward in terms of growth for a vehicle of this choice?
Challenges go, we're getting multiple single-family residents in the near future. We're getting some high-rise stuff. There's stuff coming that we're not going to be able to reach with the former ladder truck we got. So that's something else that's going to be put in the works is later on down the road is a new ladder truck. And like I said, you're talking 4.5 years from the time we issue a PO until we receive this vehicle.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do we have anything close to that now,
As far as
a engine?
yes, sir. The newest truck we have is a 2019 Enforcer. This truck we've got here is going to be a little bit smaller than that truck. We're trying to make it where it's usable in town versus in out of town. With the driveways out of town, they're a little bit different situation. You have to have long lays on these trucks, so it's more room for equipment, but the truck is smaller.
Will this ladder be already come with the truck, or is that a separate attachment?
No, sir. This is a separate vehicle.
Okay. Okay.
Is it correct that the county is talking about raising the height limit on buildings in the county?
I have heard that. Yes, sir.
You haven't heard it officially.
No, I'm not officially, but I have heard that.
It's probably the same rumor that I'm hearing.
I can actually confirm that. I went to the county commissioners meeting at the beginning of the month. And although it was something that was tabled, it's something that's up for discussion. Currently, we're looking at 60 foot in terms of our buildings for the limits, and they're discussing up to 120 feet amongst the communities. There were several individuals who expressed a concern of what kind of impact that would have on an economic development piece for us as a community, especially our smaller towns like Louisburg. So that is something that I would confirm is on the table because I was present there.
You think we ought to express our concerns about that?
As of now, like I said, we have a ladder truck that does not reach our buildings currently. For example, the college. We're not able to reach a lot of the buildings at the college, so we have to use ground ladders, which is a little more time consuming, but it taxes the personnel we have already, and it's just a matter of growth.
Would you even say it would affect us on a safety level for the guys if they're hauling a ladder?
It will, yes, sir.
Well, once again, the county doesn't seem to be real interested in working with the local municipalities to discuss this. I mean, they're on us. Your jurisdiction doesn't just include the town of Louisburg, it also includes considerable area in the county. And I'm sure Franklinton and Youngsville and other communities are dealing with the same issue. You know, this is once again, I think everybody knows about this parochialism in this county. I mean, it would seem to me that it would be wise for all the affected political divisions get together and discuss this as a group, try to come up with a solution that, you know, trying to balance the development of the county versus, you know, the safety and the cost and everything else and the potential problems that it creates for the folks that are already here. And what we have is one political entity just going off in one direction and others over here having to deal with the consequences. So, Mayor, I think we ought to maybe address the county and say, hey, we'd like to have a meeting to discuss this before you move forward with, you know, changing the ordinance.
That's said, I have a question.
I'd just like to add, I just checked out ordinance, and currently in our B1 zoning district, which is downtown, our height limit is 75 feet. So it does speak to what the chief is asking for, is that we already do allow by right permitted 75 feet height.
Yeah, but they're talking about more than 120.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When do we have to sign this PO and when does it need to be submitted?
So the PO needs to be submitted by January 31st.
So we have till the end of the month.
Yes, sir.
So really going to the county is
These are two separate
Yeah,
issues.
this
So
is
the
No, this is
PO,
two separate,
yeah,
I'm
we
sorry.
need the PO, this is
No, it
years
doesn't
in the
affect
works,
this.
but
I'm thinking
that is a salient point, so
down the road. I mean,
we should probably be involved.
won't be long before we're gonna have to be talking about a ladder truck. And I assume one that goes to 120 feet is gonna be a lot more than the one that goes to 75.
Well, the normal ladder trucks, they go about to 107 feet tall.
So the lot is priced in, it had to be January 31st.
Yes, ma'am. So we priced this truck and we're gonna try to get it in last year's budget. And it went up $100,000 between the time we priced it and now because of the new emissions that the state has put on with the engines.
Things aren't getting cheaper. My questions are just financial. I think I know the answer to them, but for the sake of the open discussion, and if you're not sure, I think Shaw would know. Currently, we're servicing the debt on the 2019 truck. Do you know how much longer is left on that term, or if you don't?
I do not.
It was a 10-year loan.
Okay, so about the time this is delivered, that will be done, and we can roll what's allocated that payment into the new.
But
I thought I knew the answer to that, but I wanted to confirm. And then, are there any concerns with our UAL limitations?
Because we should be off that by then.
So that burden will be on just us.
And with signing the PO now, there's no money up front, no money that has to be spent until the truck arrives and we accept it.
So, see, the PO just, puts it in motion for us. However, there's a future 4 years from now before we actually do this. This is more like a commitment to begin this.
But it does not lock us.
Yeah.
It locks us in, but we also can deny it and we would have to pay a penalty for denying it, but you do not pay the entire thing.
Any other questions? Okay. If not, can we get a motion to move to approve the issuance of the PO for that fire apparatus vehicle? It's been moved and properly second that we approve the PO for the purchase order for the fire apparatus vehicle. Did I get a second? You did.
Yes.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
If you do not have your microphones on, could you please turn them on? That helps enable the caption.
They have the green light on or just the red?
The
Green.
green, if you wanted to whisper to delete it aside, you would press it to turn it on.
Okay. Okay. All right, the next item is amendment to Code of Ordinances for Chapter 38 Utilities, Small Generator, and Inverter-Based Systems.
The new agenda item right before that.
Okay, that's,
Yeah, that's 8.
I think this could say like 8A in the amusement application, 8B is how I wrote it down. They're both Terry's comments.
oh yeah, stand corrected. Okay, 8A. That's also, I'm sorry, that's the Stormwater Management Ordinance Amendment. Mr. Satterwhite.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. The amendment to the Code of Ordinances for Chapter 38, Utilities, Small Generator, and Inverter-Based Systems. Basically, in layman's terms, just means solar panels as it relates to our ordinance and our policies. Last year, the town established a policy regarding the small generator and inverter-based systems. As a member of Electric Cities, the town of Louisburg periodically meets with the representative team to discuss new laws and procedures across the country regarding power. And in our most recent meetings, Electric Cities advised the town of a new regulation regarding solar systems and how best to comply with regulation regarding compensating customers for excess power that flows back onto our electric grid. The amendment includes an avoided cost rate, which businesses or industry customers would receive for energy created that flows back onto the system. And the amendment also includes a standby and supplemental rate, which covers times where the town of Louisburg system is ready to supply power where the generator is not producing power. The standby and supplemental rate covers unplanned outages, planned maintenance, and replacement power. And this need has arisen largely in response to the needs of state businesses and industries seeking to diversify their energy needs, going green, ensuring reliability, sustainability, and cost reduction during peak power use periods. So we were approached by Karl because they would like to install solar panels on top of Karl. We had approved the proposal, the request to install the system on top of Karl, but we had no method to credit them back for the power that flows back onto the grid system. And so we met with Electric Cities to help us formulate a plan and an avoided cost rate as well as the standby and supplemental rate. So again, in your packet, there is a chart that explains both. The proposed avoided cost rate, which would be 5 cents per kilowatt hour, and this is per month. So they would, any kilowattage that flows back onto our system, they would see a reduction in their bill of 5 cents per kilowatt hour.
It's a deduction.
It's a deduction off of their bill. That's the avoided cost rate. And then the standby and supplemental rate is for our infrastructure, which in winter months, cloudy days, unplanned outages, how we recoup our money for having the excess power to supply them when the generator is down. So it covers us, the standby supplemental rate, and the avoided cost rate compensates them as a power producer. These rates were based off of NCEMPA, which is the North Carolina Electric Municipal Power Association. And Electric Cities helped us calculate these rates and gave us these rates based off of forecasted rates for the entire North Carolina, other municipalities around this area, and the standby and supplemental rate to make us whole. They suggest a standby and supplemental rate of $1 to $2.50 for the town of Louisburg. That rate could be fixed and changed at any time per the proposed ordinance amendment, which it should, because as time continues, as the electric grid gets bigger, the town of Louisburg needs to change those rates in order to fully compensate itself. Or, excuse me, recover the cost for having electric power supplied to the solar producers. So the standby and supplemental rate would not be applied to all energy customers, just inverter-based energy. So the next page is a net billing rider, which Electric Cities also helped us create. The net billing rider is, in essence, the policy that goes along with the standby and supplemental rates. It explains how net billing works, which is the avoided cost rate. That's our form of net billing. Instead of directly sending the power producer a check, it would be the avoided cost rate, a deduction in their bill. This is charged on a monthly rate, and the net billing rider would go into effect upon approval of the ordinance amendment. That is all I have for the proposal.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Satterwhite?
Does Carly see feels about these rates?
We have not told Carly C's the rates as of yet. I think that Carly C's is excited to get compensated back for the energy that they're flowing back onto the grid. Previously, we did not have a compensation method for energy producing customers.
And these rates are competitive with what other communities are doing?
Correct. Upon the advisement of Electric Cities, we are a member of Electric Cities, and they advise us on all our power grid infrastructure, policies, procedures.
Mr. Sadway, is this same program in line with like gas generators as well as solar? Do they work in conjunction?
You know what? I don't believe so, because this small generator, I have not seen an example of a gas generator that produces this type of kilowattage. But if it did, and they could show that it was categorized as a small generator or inverter-based system, then yes. We still do have our policy in place for a threshold of 50 kilowatt. So that means pretty much commercial or industrial.
This wouldn't affect somebody like myself if I wanted to put some on my, which I wouldn't get probably here, but I mean, I was in a part of the town where I could do that.
Correct. It won't affect residential customers.
Should we be looking at that?
We could maybe look at a policy to help compensate residential customers for that as well. We have been advised by Electric Cities, though, to make sure that we do this for commercial and industrial customers. And then later on, if we see a rise in solar proposals from residential, then yes, at that time we would amend it to include residential. Maybe lowering the threshold.
So you need a motion to approve this.
Yep.
This is an
Yes.
amendment to the ordinance.
Yes, sir.
I make that motion.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second that we approve the ordinance as presented. No other questions? Like to call, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Mr. Satterwhite. Okay, the next item there is item for the amusement application. Mr. Satterwhite.
Thank you, ma'am, and Mr. Council. Second item is an application for amusements and entertainment at 103 Market Street. Section 6-28 of the Louisburg Code of Ordinances states that no person shall maintain or operate any pool or billiard table, bowling alley, or any other table or alley for any game or play for which is for whether the charge is made directly or indirectly without a license thereof issued by the town council. So in any instance, any amusement or entertainment that a billiard hall would have to come to town council for approval of their application. It's not strictly an administrative approval. And so that's what I'm presenting before the council tonight. A billiard parlor and tavern at 103 Market Street has submitted their application. And a Mr. William Mitchell is going to be the proprietor owner of said establishment upon approval from the council. So I handed the application to Councilman Roseby and passing it around to other council members. But essentially, it is just an approval from the council to open a billiard parlor. And last year, we amended the policy to include billiard parlors to sell alcoholic beverages and as well stay open past the hours of 12 a.m. So this is just a continuance of that, and any billiard parlor would have to come and get approval from the town council because we did not amend that part of the ordinance.
You said amusement. Let's say another business we're interested in coming to our downtown area, mainly amusement parlor for kids, family-oriented business. Would they then have to apply
Yes,
the same way?
Correct, yes, sir.
Is this going to be a similar operation to what you presented?
Initially?
To my understanding, it is the same operation, it's just changing locations. Or pretty much, yep.
So it's the same people.
One of them is the same person, yes, ma'am. The, Mr. William Mitchell, yes, ma'am.
We have any here now?
We do not, no, sir. No, sir. The one that was proposed before never opened. And to my understanding, like I said, I think this is just switching locations, but it still has to come before council and get approval because it's a different location.
This is just Mr. Mitchell himself, right?
Correct.
So they will not be selling alcohol at this establishment? Is that what I'm hearing correctly?
No, sir. He has the option to. He told me personally, verbally, that he would not because he just doesn't have too much of an interest to sell alcohol, but he may sell beer. He might not sell liquor, but beer. But it's completely up to him because we changed the ordinance recently and now it opens it up for beer or alcohol sales. But he would still have to get ABC permit approval from myself, Chief Lincoln, as well as other entities in Louisburg.
I do remember from the discussion, Russell, he seemed less interested in that opportunity than his partner did.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. He seemed less interested in the alcohol portion. Yeah. Think because his personal preferences.
Yeah, clarity. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Satterwhite? That? Okay, if not, can I get a motion to approve the application?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we approve this application for the for that entertainment with the billiard parlor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. So next on the agenda is the storm water management ordinance amendment. Mr. Satterwhite.
Mayor, members of the council. Recently, the town of Louisburg has experienced growth. We continue to receive growth proposals from different developers, subdivisions, and this amendment would respond to those increased development proposals. I've spoken to quite a few citizens, and they are very concerned about stormwater control measures in their neighborhoods and their existing communities and how the new development will affect that. And us being on the Tar River, us having this new growth that hasn't been experienced in a number of years, it is typical of municipalities to strengthen stormwater control measures. Those infrastructure strengthen ordinances to respond to that development. So, our existing stormwater rules need to be strengthened to protect neighborhoods, prevent flooding, and reduce long-term maintenance costs for the town. This update is needed because more development means more runoff, new rooftops, driveways, parking lots, increase the amount of stormwater flowing into ditches and streams. Our current regulations do not fully address today's storm sizes. As we know, storms are becoming worse and the amount of rainfall has increased with some of those storms, as we saw in Western North Carolina, as well as some of the flooding here. Like I said, the Tar River running right through Louisburg, there is a major concern for flooding if there is a major flooding event. So we would like to require developers to contain more of that stormwater on site with these developments. And without stronger regulations, the town inherits long-term problems. So undersized drainage leads to flooding, erosion, and costs for repairs for taxpayers. What the new regulations will do will require developers to handle more stormwater on the property. They, along with these regulations amendments, they must now manage the 1, 2, and 10-year storms and retain the first 1.5 inches of rainfall. As we discussed in a previous meeting last year, that stormwater retention ponds, while they are engineered, sometimes they just don't do the job. So it's a good idea to go ahead and strengthen those policies. And it ensures downstream neighborhoods are protected. It improves the quality of the water entering our streams, and that's a major concern for the Tar River. It requires long-term maintenance. This new amendment, property owners must maintain their stormwater systems and submit annual inspection reports. That was a request made by Councilman Stover, that these stormwater retention ponds ongoing need to be inspected and make sure that they're maintaining the quality of the stormwater retention pond. It gives the town stronger enforcement tools. And the summary of the proposed changes: this ordinance amendment creates a new post-construction stormwater management article within the subdivision ordinance. As I stated, post-construction meaning that they must maintain the quality of the stormwater retention pond, as well as have annual inspections. It requires a stormwater management plan for qualifying development. So they must not only maintain it in perpetuity, but they must create a stormwater management plan to be submitted along with their application for development. It establishes peak flow control, volume retention, and conveyance design standards. So the peak flow control, it requires those stormwater retention ponds to manage more peak flow at a major storm event. It also requires them to retain more volume of water, changing it from 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And then conveyance design. So if the stormwater ponds become full, they have to have some sort of conveyance design to convey that water out of the stormwater retention pond safely and not adversely affecting surrounding properties. The amendment also requires downstream impact analysis for all major development. So if there's a subdivision going in that is a major development, it requires the developers to not only take into account their property, but properties downstream. It requires as-built certifications, recorded maintenance agreements, and annual inspections. And it specifies acceptable stormwater control measures and references the town's new stormwater design manual. With the amendment change, we would need an addition to our current manual for specs. We have a town manual for specs, which includes curbways, pipe inlets, drop inlets, manholes, and it has to be built to the town standards. This would be added to that town manual, and we would have actual design certification for stormwater. It also provides enforcement mechanisms, including stop work orders and civil penalties. So if they do not comply with the laws, the new regulations, then we have enforcement procedures as well. So in theory, this just strengthens the town's measures for enforcing laws. It protects the town, it protects our residents, it protects Louisburg as a whole for the future. And I would like to add our current stormwater policy is, while we do have one, it's very generic and very low level, and it does not require any developers to maintain the stormwater management ponds to be inspected annually. It does not require the stormwater retention ponds to convey a large amount of water. It's just basic. So it's very low level. And again, the town should increase the policy to strengthen regulations and protect citizens. That's all for that.
Okay, and I believe there's another gentleman who has something to add to that, or speak to that as well. He's at this time, I'll give him an opportunity to come forward.
I explain the situation.
Sure.
A little bit. This came to my attention when the Tanglewood people started expressing their concerns about runoff. And I took it to this gentleman who is our local expert on it. And he pointed out that our regulations did not protect those folks. So I asked Terry to look into this and come up with these regulations. Bill has reviewed them, and I'd like him to make his comments on them.
Bill Lord, and been working in stormwater with NC State University 30 years. It's a good looking ordinance. You know, the trick is you got to enforce it. But it's, I'm assuming you got it from other people too, which is good because it's stormwater is managed statewide. We've got lots of layers of regulation. The tar Pamlico rules were adopted in 2001. Louisburg was exempted. A lot of small towns were. And that's why you have that generic. What you have right now puts it down the storm drain and goes straight to the river. Nothing touches it. So this is a good ordinance for Louisburg, and the trick will be to enforce it. So you know, you got to realize though that they're required to capture a 1.5 inch storm. We get on average 12 1-inch storms a year in North Carolina. Louisburg's getting like 42 inches of rain. But if we get a hurricane, if we get an 8-inch event, it's not going to do a lot for that. It's going to take 1.5 inches of that. So just keep that in mind. But it will help a lot for water quality and for your average storm. It'll keep it on site. And this is for new development only. You're not going to retrofit anything.
No, sir.
Yeah, new development only. So it looks good.
And you have a suggestion that we make it certified?
Few things, you know, you could require it to be inspected by professional engineers. Is Louisburg subject to the tar buffer rules? Or exempted from that? I think you are.
Yeah.
You don't need to talk about that, but you've got 50-foot buffer rules on all perennial streams. You really can't do much within 50 feet of a stream, according to that. It'd be good just to remind people of that.
Okay. Yes,
the tar is unique in the state. It's regulated on the basis of nitrogen and phosphorus. It's the only river in the state because it has a history of problems. And it's really been cleaned up a lot. And the river is in relatively good shape now, if we can keep it that way.
You said it only affects the Tar River?
Yeah.
Is that a natural thing that acquainted with this river?
Well, you got a lot of towns on. I mean, up above us, you have Oxford with a wastewater treatment plant, which, like Louisburg, they improved it and it helped a lot. So the towns have really done a lot towards improving point source discharges, wastewater. That's helped tremendously. And the industries, they've got a users association, and they really cleaned it up. But stormwater, we call it a non-point source. It's a continuing source of problems. So this ordinance is a good idea.
Does this 50-foot rule also include small ponds and stuff like that around the area?
Any perennial stream.
Okay.
So something that runs year round.
Okay.
Just depends on whether, most of those are not connected.
Because I think of, by my house, they have College Park going in, which, they're putting in 66 plus homes. There's a small pond that sits back there just off the college. And their buffer zone that they're creating there, the pond is higher than the work that they're actually doing. that slope goes downward. So one of the things that I try to think about with this is like, does this affect projects that are ongoing or continuing to move forward? And this is something for Mr. Satterwhite maybe. And if it does not, how can we protect that? Like how can we put that into place to conserve those kind of areas? Because a small pond like that, you start clearing out the land, it has a direct effect on how that goes. And if we're talking about retention and moving everything, the amount of homes that are going to go in down at the bottom, if I remember that plan correctly, the largest group of those homes is going to go at the bottom of that area that's being built out with twin side-by-sides. And then one, single homes up in the front, if I'm correct.
Yes, sir. To answer your first part of the question, we do not have a device to force developers to go back and retrofit those. If the ordinance was not passed, they have permit choice. So they have the option to go with the ordinance as it was amended or the ordinance as it was previously. And I'm sure that they would go with the previous option because we didn't have those strengthening regulations. So College Park is one that they would probably have permit choice and which they would choose the regulations as they were previously. And so they would not have to follow the new stormwater policy, but any new development that has not been submitted before tonight, if it was approved tonight, they would have to follow that policy.
That would include the Tanglewood property?
Correct. They would have to because they submitted their application but withdrew their application. So they're having to go back through the process. And with that, they would have to follow the new regulation. So, maybe Mr. Lloyd could speak to how we could maybe retroactively go back and ensure that College Park follows those guidelines. Not the new ones, but maybe there's some sort of ongoing inspections.
Yeah, the rules for the use is also regulated, and the use and tar rules both say if water quality objectives are not met, then municipalities have the ability to go in and require retrofits. That has not happened. The use is considerably cleaner. So both rivers are much better than they were 20 years ago. So no one's had to go back in and do retrofits on existing property. There are existing stormwater control measures here. People, the credit union has a bioretention bed. There are level spreaders on that street behind Pete Smith's, and Walmart has stormwater wetlands. So some people have done it voluntarily in the past, even though they don't have to.
Yeah, I think it would be unfair to ask the developers to go back and retrofit what we've already approved. I just express the concerns, like seeing, the development, which I welcome, because it brings a lot of opportunities to our community. What does that look like going forward for those kind of things? And, preventative maintenance, like, the biggest comment that you said that stuck with me is like, sure, it's good to have a plan, but how do we implement the plan? How do we enforce those rules? So that's something that we seriously need to consider, enforcing the rule, but also having a good plan and good training and process to hold accountability for those actions on an environmental standpoint.
Maintenance is a huge industry in this state, and we teach the courses on that. And corporate America has started buying these companies out. It's such a good business. So,
We have a great example of what happens when you don't. Just go up to the hospital parking lot.
Yeah.
Come in from Main Street. As soon as you turn, look to your right, and you can see the hellhole that's over there right now.
Yeah, it's an unmaintained, I think it's a wet pond. It's kind of hard to tell what it is. It's a jungle right now.
I think one area we also need to consider is underneath the bridge is a large amount of debris that's currently underneath the bridge at the park. If we look at that, it's something that needs to be put on our radar.
We've already had it.
Yeah, it's quite a bit now.
Yeah, it happens whenever we have a large rainstorm. It brings debris downstream, and it seems like it stops right there at the Tar River Bridge there, under those embankments.
We are seeking grant opportunities for that.
Are we? Great.
My thing is not just with the new developments, but with a lot of the areas that have problem with water already. I would like to see a plan or something come into play with that right there. A lot of areas that were not with the old ordinances, which is built willy-nilly, and then think about all those ordinances with rainwater.
Well, you can do that. A lot of towns and cities have actually enacted stormwater fees based on the amount of impervious surface, and they go in and make drainage improvements and Raleigh's got it, Durham's got it, Cary's got it. And they go in and try to address neighborhood flooding and issues like that.
Yeah.
With those monies. And you can also apply for grant monies to do things like that. And there are plenty of engineering firms that'll help you with that.
That's something that I would like for us to look into, because there are a lot of areas who suffer from that. One, including the area where I live in, who constantly, they put in things, to fix it, but they patched it. And it's a huge problem that really needs to be go in and really do the work that really needs to be done. I must say they did a good job at, in fixing what they did. They did an excellent job. But how long will that maintain? How long will that? So that's something, not just that area, but other areas, coming up with a plan to make sure.
Well, for 400 years, we've been trying to get water off-site, and we've gotten really good at that. But stormwater management involves putting the water back in the ground. So it's a new kind of engineering.
Yeah.
And it's a learning curve on it. So give people time.
So the one change that you would recommend is that these inspections should be done by a certified.
Well, it says certified professional, licensed professional.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. If you have, it's a matter of enforcing what you have.
So it does cover that?
Yeah, it covers that.
Okay.
First, thank you, Mr. Lord,
Yeah.
for speaking. Really appreciate that. And I would like to add that we can amend it before approval or denial. We can amend that part about 1.5 inches of rain. You can amend that to 2.5, 3, whatever the council sees fit.
Bill, do you have a recommendation on that?
When you start asking to retain larger storms, you start talking about much larger footprints and a lot of money. So keep that in mind. So I don't know that I know of anyone who goes over an inch and a half. It takes a lot of room and a lot of money to capture larger storms. They need to address the fact that these things need to have bypasses so that they can bypass the larger storm and hold up. That's how they're designed. But I'd be cautious with that. It put a real burden on the development to capture a storm that big.
So you think 1.5 would be sufficient for
That's
now?
good.
It seems like a good start from nothing. And
Right.
then,
Terry, what's your thought?
My opinion would be, as Mr. Lloyd, 1.5 would be good because, again, we don't want to scare development away. And that may price a lot of developers out if we're requiring them to contain 3 inches of rain with these engineered ponds, because they have to hire an engineer to build it and design it, and then it must still retain that much water. So to Mr. Lloyd's point, it becomes very cost effective at that point when we go above 1.5. So I would agree that 1.5 is a good jumping off point for the policy.
I move that we accept these changes to our stormwater ordinance as presented by Mr. Satterwhite.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second that we approve the request to amend and expand the existing stormwater ordinance. And no other questions relating to that. Could I get them all in favor? All opposed? Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. The next item is on there is item number 10. Council, you had received a invoice. I had an invoice to be delivered to you. This is from the Board of Elections. This is the cost of the taxpayers for the October election. This is an itemized cost that came from the Board of Elections, and it totals $18,901.67. Now, this does not include the cost for the November election. Because the fact that we incurred this cost, we didn't ask for it. The state put this mandate on us to change the rules of the election, but they did not send any funds to help us mitigate this change. So, and this is taxpayers' money. And this is an obligation to us now to pay this. There are some ways that we can remedy this. We can ask the state to reimburse us for this cost. And we can do that in the form of submitting a letter to our state representative, and he takes it back to the state and asks them to reimburse us. There is some leeway I think he has within his office via legislature ruling, other means as well for us to be reimbursed. I would think that would be an appropriate thing to approach the state via a letter through our representative, Mr. Winslow, to present some type of proposal or however he does it in his office to reimburse the town for these expenses. Again, this is your money. We did not ask for this cost. So because of that, I think it would be appropriate for us to ask the state to reimburse us.
I agree. If I remember correctly from our budget discussions the last summer, before we knew we'd have to have 2 elections, we budgeted maybe $10,000 to $12,000 for one election. But this is one election that's nearly $20,000, which means the second one was probably an equal amount. So that's 4 to 5 times what we budgeted for.
And normally we usually pay our bills in 30 days. So I would like to ask the permission for the council for us to craft a letter from the mayor's office to Representative Winslow, asking him to help us in mitigating this cost, and suggest to him as well to get back with us in about 14 days, still within the realm of our 30-day window to pay the bill, and just see what the state says. So,
Mayor, if I may, would it be out of character to possibly ask the county for an extension so we could possibly come up with a solution instead of putting a rush on the state? Because I mean, obviously government moves on its own time. So if we can maybe come up with a solution for that as well, to possibly ask for an extension from the county to help alleviate some of that stress on all parties.
well, yeah, that's a possibility. We could do that as well. Sure, we could do that. So we could
It could
ask
be like
them.
a 15-day extension possibly,
Mhm.
you know, the time that we're asking.
Yeah, from the county.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, from the county as well as the state too. Because this, again, we are stewards of the citizens' money. And we want to be transparent as well.
Will attachment of their bill be added to the?
Yes, in this letter, I would propose to send a copy of the summary sheet that you have received in your packet of this, along with the letter to our representative, as well as another little document just explaining to them how this have impacted the town.
I'm talking about the bill that they passed and effective. Will that be attached?
Of course, that will show why we incurred this, and this was the House Bill 183.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They inflicted upon us. Reimbursed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. By them being also stewards of the taxpayers, I think they would have to agree that this is not outrageous request. And when they put it upon us, the state usually, when they give mandates like that that affect municipalities, sometimes they usually accompany, and if funds are required, or if the municipality or the entity incurs a cost of taxpayers' money, I'm sure they would want to help us out with that. So I'm asking that give me permission that we craft this letter to their office and move forward with that, with asking them to just contact us back or give us some answer within 14 days. As well as Tuesday.
I'd like to add to that, if we could ask the county, reach out to the county, asking for grace so we can give, the proper.
Good. Okay. So could I get a motion? Okay. It's been moved and properly second that we craft a letter to our state representative asking him to use whatever authority that he has within his office to ask the state to reimburse us for the cost that we incurred for the October election as it relates to House Bill 183. In addition, also ask the county for an extension on this bill for us to pay that as well within the 30-day notice. Okay. All right. It's been moved and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Thank you, Council. I'm sure you will want to have a copy of that. I'll make sure. Next item is the administrative report.
Mayor, members of council, first of all, I'd like to say Happy New Year to each of you. As we step into this new year, I'm filled with optimism and excitement for the opportunities that lie ahead for our town. Along with our new members of the board, I'm hoping to make 2026 a year of growth, community engagement, and positive change. One thing that's not on your administrator's report that came through, I wanted to let you all know, it was brought to my attention that there will be some upcoming tree trimming that will take place within the historic district. As you know, tree trimming is imperative to keep the right-of-way clear so we can maintain and protect our electrical infrastructure, which hopefully reduces outages. Staff will begin marking trees within the historic district to be removed at a later date. Smaller trees will be removed by town staff. Staff will be preparing a scope of work for contracted tree trimming along our high voltage overhead power lines, primarily along North Main Street. All this work is expected to begin in February or March. Please note that Town Hall will be closed on Monday, January the 19th in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Let us take time to reflect on the legacy that Dr. King had and the values of equality and justice that he championed. Last, thank you for your continued support and commitment to our community.
Thank you. The mayor's report, just simply a short report this time. As usual, I've delivered our monthly boxes to our seniors. And again, that's a treat that I look forward to each month. In these boxes, I don't know if I mentioned it before, there are very staple, basic food items that these citizens really love. Dry goods, canned food, juices, things that which is basic staple food that the citizens really, really enjoy. So, and I enjoyed delivering it to them. So that was my biggest contribution last month to humanity. My report. Okay. So next is our fire report. I'm sorry, police report. Chief.
Just a couple of things to go over. We did a Christmas toy giveaway on the 16th of December. We had in this room, we were able to give toys to about 125 kids total. One of the things I wanted to do this year that we never got around to doing was what the county does at Shop with a Cop. I don't know what they call it, but where we take kids to Walmart. During those events, each officer gets a child and you go around and pick out toys and things. We would have probably helped 18, 19 kids. So helping 125 is more than I imagined we would be able to do. The other thing, if anybody in town saw, this past Sunday, we did have a protest in front of Sheets. Overall, everything went okay. There was a small incident, but it was something that we handled.
Chief Fuller?
I have nothing further.
Okay. All right, next is council comments. Councilman Roseberry, you have something you'd like to say?
Well, again, I'm excited about 2026 for the county of Louisburg, and looking for great things to happen. I think we have a good council group, and so I would just leave with you. Let us go forth and do great things.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Baker?
Nothing special, just thank you all for coming. Happy New Year.
Okay. Councilwoman Wright?
Same to me. Just want to thank you all for coming. And I too, take senior boxes out. Also in December, I helped my niece, Jaleesa Small. She did her 10th toy drive. She started this with Anglo, and this was her 10th year giving out toys. And I thank God for her spirit, who lets her 24-year-olds think about collecting toys for somebody else's kids. And she has been doing this, and this was her 10th toy drive, and I enjoy helping collect items and donating and giving other people to help donate to this drive that helps people. And I thank God for that and for her. Jaleesa, wave your hand.
Okay. Councilman Dean?
Thank you, everybody coming. We truly appreciate the support and hearing your voice throughout this. I had the opportunity to attend our county commissioners meeting, had a chance to speak to some of the representatives, and as we saw, tonight with discussion about the fire truck, those kind of meetings do have a direct impact on the decisions that we make moving forward for our community. So, I encourage everyone to, keep that on your radar. That happens at the first Monday of the month. And it's a great opportunity to see what else is going on, that around surrounding communities, but also within our district as well.
Councilwoman Wood?
I would like to thank everybody for coming out. I look forward to an awesome 2026. There are new and exciting things that I want to do, that I'm working with a couple of people, doing and representing of our town, because kids are my joy and my passion, and they are our future. So I want to do a lot in our community with that right there. So I'm just excited for the new board. I'm excited for things that's going to happen in Louisburg. Thank you.
Councilman Stowe?
As you all are probably aware, we've got a cold snap coming. And our church again will be opening a white flag shelter. I think right now we're scheduled for Thursday, Friday, and possibly Saturday. So if you know anybody who is exposed to the elements, if they're homeless, or even if they have a house or a dwelling they're in that doesn't have adequate heat, everyone is welcome. We don't card at the door. We don't care where you came from or how you got there. You're all God's children, and we're there to help. I've got two projects I'm gonna be working on this spring. One is to lower the citywide speed limit to 25. I think right now where you have too much speeding going on in our residential streets. And I think we need to take some steps to try to make our residential streets a little safer. I know Church Street, the back of my house is, there's an awful lot of kids out there. But there's also an awful lot of people like to use that as a little drag strip. It's just a matter of time before somebody gets hurt. And then we're also gonna be working on, we bought a bus last year. We're gonna work on this, a shuttle around town. Finally have some public transportation here in Louisburg. Hopefully we'll be able to present those proposals to the council here in the next few months. So, thank you all for being here and participating and running our town.
Thank you. The next item we have on it, we go into a closed session for real estate talk for per GS 143-318-11A-4. Could I get a motion to go into closed session? It's been moved and properly second that we go into closed session to discuss a real estate issue per GS 143-318-11. All in favor? All opposed? Citizens, usually we come back out. You feel free, you could leave or feel free to stay as well for the results of To come back into open session.
I make a motion, we'll come back into open session.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we come back into open session. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? After coming back into open session, it was decided that no action was taken. Now, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Moved and
rushing
properly.
it for?
Moved and properly second that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Like to sleep with my wife.
Okay.